together with his fellow castmates from La Vienna Rose, and they can all have a pissing contest. You know, like a pee-off. Pee-off, because the movie was about Edith Piaf. He said pee-off. So after Gerard took his little solo flight to urination, the plane had to turn around and go back to the gate, and some unlucky cleaning crew had to deal with the Golden Globe winning Tinkle. Now, all I can say is they should thank their lucky stars it wasn't Depardieu. Sorry. That made me giggle every time I read it. He hasn't commented on this incident. Depardieu. I know you got it, but... All right, sorry. Sorry, this has actually never happened to me. You always see this sort of thing on YouTube, and you don't think
I'm Russ.
And I'm Paul, and this is PR Problems.
So that was Anderson Cooper giggling, and I put that there just because it's minorly funny. But what we really wanted to talk about is Anderson Cooper getting in another Twitter war. And, of course, you've just been filled in on this.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think about it? Is he a BAMF, or...?
Yeah, he's a badass.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's in a war zone fighting with this chick on Twitter. And basically this chick thinks he's for the Israeli news and not standing up for the Gazans or other way around. She's majorly on one side and thinks he's not reporting it fairly, and she expresses her opinions, and then of course he comes back after digging really deep into her Twitter history for just one good zing back. And I don't even know how he finds these tweets out of 3.3 million, but I have to think that's probably pretty boring sitting around there in the war zone, so he is probably looking through his 3.3 million tweets.
It's gotta have a little bit of time.
So here's what we're gonna do. Paul over here is gonna read the tweets, and then we have a video of Anderson Cooper responding about the tweets.
While reporting and dodging explosions in Gaza, ground zero of renewed hostilities between Israel and Hamas, the host of the AC360 took an incoming tweet from one Pamela Weiss, a self-described social media junkie and foodie. As surfaced by Tumblr, Weiss criticized his report of an Israel airstrike on a media center twice in one day. She posted, quote, "Report a fair story, report facts," unquote. Amazingly, the TV anchor noticed the tweet and replied, quote, I just did that and been doing that repeatedly on Twitter and on TV. Do you actually think before you tweet? Unquote. But there were more cattiness to come. Cooper added, quote, "Perhaps spend less time tweeting about coconut flan and more time actually following the news," unquote. Followers of the Twitter spat weighed in. Caleb at cpenny20 posted, quote, "Damn, you just dug into her tweet history for that burn? Respect," unquote. To which Cooper fired back, quote, "Nothing funner than looking at a dull tweet history for specifics," unquote.
When Anderson was asked about this Twitter feud on live TV, here's what he had to say.
The opposite. Kyle and I were just talking before we went on about these Twitter feuds. We're obsessed.
Oh, and here you are risking your life to fill all of us in on what's going on over there. And I mean, are there really haters? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, people are hating
They're
at you.
They're not getting what you're doing. It's unbelievable.
On Twitter, and you're fighting back.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Last night, you know, you spend hours in the bureau doing live shots and out reporting, and then there's a lot of downtime where you're in between live shots. You're waiting for something to happen, and so I spend a lot of time just on Twitter reading people's tweets, responding to people, and most of them are really nice, and I try to respond to as many people as I can. But every now and then, somebody tweets something which is so inaccurate, and I understand. I mean, the problem with reporting in this region is that, you know, the divisions are so clear, and people's minds are made up very firmly. And so if they see you even reporting from Gaza City, some people will say, well, why aren't you in Israel? You should be reporting in Israel. And I spend a lot of time in Israel reporting in Israel, and we have a lot of folks over there, but I can't be everywhere at once. Or someone, you know, if I tweet something about like an outgoing rocket firing toward Israel, they'll say that I'm pro-Israeli. If I tweet about a bomb blast here that killed people in Gaza City, they'll say I'm pro-Hamas. So it's a very difficult situation, and on Twitter, it's very easy for people to kind of make ridiculous claims. So yeah, I've started sort of tweeting back. Last night I'd been up for many, many hours, so I think I maybe got a little mean.
Well, there was specifically, there was a
entitled.
woman named Pamela Weiss who you said, maybe you should spend less time tweeting about coconut flan and more time actually following the news. I enjoyed that. I was like, yes, yes.
Well, what I find myself doing, because I get obsessed with somebody who says something to me that's completely inaccurate, like they'll say like, "Oh, you never report about stuff that's happening in Israel," which is just not true. So then I'll read their tweet history to see what they've been tweeting about.
Yeah.
And she happened to be tweeting a lot about coconut flan, and so I just suggested that maybe she should spend less time focusing on coconut flan and more time watching the news, because then she would be able to say accurately about my reporting.
That was fantastic.
Nothing against coconut flan. And I'm sure she's a very
Absolutely.
nice person, and I kind of felt bad, to be honest.